Hey guys, Colin Stuckert, founder, CEO of Wild Foods Co. and the author of Drink Your Fat. So today we're going to talk about the Drink Your Fat system and how it can literally change your life. So for me, every morning I wake up, I have my coffee, wild coffee, I have some wild cocoa butter, some wild MCT oil, and then I usually do some pastured butter, about a tablespoon, and I blend all that up, usually with my cocotropics, got my mushrooms and my cocoa powder, and then I'll sweeten up with maybe a little bit of stevia, and I make something like this that is delicious. And I use this instead of eating breakfast, okay? Now, why would you want to do that? Well, first of all, eating breakfast in the morning, no bueno. Not how humans are designed. Cortisol wakes us up in the morning. When we add food to that equation, it's a big hormonal mess that just literally is the reason 2 to 3 hours later, most people crash, and then come lunchtime, they're hungry, and then they crash soon after that. We're not about that, okay? We're about using the Superfat Elixir to fast in the morning, so practicing things like intermittent fasting. Maybe if you're doing a keto diet, that works as well, okay? So keto coffee, you even hear things like bulletproof coffee. This not necessarily a new concept, but the idea and how you can use it with a fasted state in the morning, that's what's revolutionary, guys, and life-changing, okay? And so the Drink Your Fat system is based in our philosophy of nutrition being the epicenter of human health and longevity. All right, so we offer super premium ingredients from around the world. That's what Wild Foods does, and our mission is to help 5 million people live the wild lifestyle full of health and nutrition through really great ingredients, obviously through food, nutrition, and education, because that matters as well. So for us, the Drink Your Fat method in the morning, it's the best way to get the day started with intention. It's part of our morning habit, a morning routine, so that we can literally go the entire day without food if we want, right? And once you do this for a while, you will be able to do that. I know right now, especially if you're a breakfast eater, that might seem a little crazy, but I do it every day. My first meal today was actually at 6 p.m. I woke up at 11 a.m. I got my work done, 6 to 7 hours. Sometimes I go 10 hours after waking my first meal. And so let's talk a little bit about how to actually make this. Then we'll talk a little bit more about the benefits, okay? So keep in mind, again, this is a system, all right? The Drink Your Fat method is a system. And so I want you to think about it as something that you will do and you'll do consistently. And it's not just about like a magic pill. You're not just going to drink this and it's going to change your life, right? But if you drink it every day for a year, it might change your life. See what I'm saying? Okay, so now the Drink Your Fat recipe. MCT oil, cocoa butter, okay? These are the primary 2 fats. Now this can also be replaced with butter, which I have right here, okay? So pastured, grass-fed organic butter. These are the 3 fats that form the base of the Drink Your Fat elixir. Now, this is made with wild coffee, so this is a fresh whole bean ground coffee that I make every morning. Okay, and always grind your beans right before you brew, that's a big one. And you can also make it with tea, you can make it with a nut milk, like a warm nut milk, or you can even do water, all right? I recommend coffee because there's just something with all those flavor notes in the coffee that brings out all these other ingredients. It's amazing, it's amazing, okay? And what's great is with the butter, right? These are basically dairy-free creamer options. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to get people off the dairy, which can be very insulinogenic and it can spike hormones, which leads to a lot of the same issues when you're eating whole food. So even if you're doing just coffee in the morning, but you're putting sugar and cream and stuff like that in there, you want to move to a Drink Your Fat method because that is going to give you all the benefits we're talking about today. The IF, the fat burning, the weight loss, etc. Like literally this can be the epicenter for changing your health for the better. And it starts with fat, okay? So the MCT oil actually helps form that emulsion, as you can see, that this has been in the fridge, and even though there's fats in there that normally will solidify when it's very cold, it stays emulsified, okay? A little bit of shake and everything's mixed up again, so that's one of the tricks, is using the MCT oil. So we got our fat as our base, we have our liquid, nut milk, tea, whatever, and then we have our other options, okay? If you want to do something like collagen or bone broth, probably 3 to 4 times a week. I'll add that at the end and pulse it up. I almost always have some cocotropic in there, which is a cocoa powder maca turmeric base. And this has got your mushrooms in it, reishi and chaga. And it's just one of those brain boosting nootropics that's just amazing for you. It also tastes delicious when you add it to coffee. And when you add a little bit of MCT and butter, it's literally the best thing ever. And this is one of our fastest growing products right now because it's unsweet, raw, superfood nutrition, and it's as simple as adding it to your coffee and blending it up. Even better if you add a little bit of MCT oil or butter because you get that nice thick consistency, and that's what's in here, okay? And so I usually do about a tablespoon of this in there, and then I will do maybe a dash of cinnamon. We got a vanilla powder, I'm always putting a little bit of that in there. And then I usually do a couple pinches of pink salt, kind of helps bring out the flavors a little bit. And then like xylitol sometimes, or I do stevia. I found a powdered stevia that's not too overpowering. Stevia is probably my favorite. Xylitol can have some gastrointestinal issues. It can kind of like attack the gut. It just depends on the person. For me, like erythritol is a good option, but xylitol always works a lot better than erythritol for me. Erythritol really upsets my stomach, especially if I do a little bit too much. Whereas xylitol, I just never seem to have an issue. And so this is kind of a case person-to-person dependent thing. Either way, make sure you're not going too heavy on the sweetener because you're kind of defeating the purpose. The goal is to not spike insulin, and sweeteners, even sometimes in small doses, even these natural ones are the ones that kind of pass through. They can, there's some ifs on this, and like there's some debate about it, but they may potentially spike insulin because your body perceives it as something sweet. So it perceives that you're eating sugar, and so when you eat that, your body basically releases insulin because it thinks it's sugar. And so crazy stuff. So always go light. I just use a little bit to sweeten it up a little bit, and it seems to do the job. So what I do is I'm putting all this stuff together, and I'm putting it in my blender, which, here we go, we got one. So we got our blender, okay? That's still wet because from earlier. I'm gonna put everything in my blender, all right? I'm gonna blend it up, so it'll come out like this. Now, you can drink it hot, or you can ice it down. I tend to let it sit for a few minutes, and then I pour it over ice. It's just a preference. And I take this, and I go outside to my backyard, walk barefoot, getting vitamin D. I'm grounding, all right? I'm drinking my Superfat Elixir. I'm doing my morning social media post because, we all gotta be social nowadays. And I don't need any food. And it's literally the most amazing thing ever. And I'll literally never go back to waking up eating food in the morning. And I'm not gonna get into all the science of why that is, but let's just think of it this way. If right now you eat whole food, okay, and every day you wake up, your body expects to eat food. So if you don't eat, you might get a little cranky, especially a few hours in. And that's why this transition period can be tough, right? What we do with this is because we have all these appetite suppressing fatty acids in here, all right, you're getting calories and you're getting fuel, especially brain fuel. This will keep you going in lieu of eating whole food. And so this is the perfect kind of gateway to the method, is using a lot of the fatty acids in this Superfat Elixir to skip breakfast. Eventually you'll be able to wake up and like do a straight cold brew, which I do some days. Some days I just do cold brew with nothing in it, black, and I don't eat for 8 hours, okay? Now that is something that you can evolve to. And I think you should mix it up because the human body responds well to variability. We're designed to have things that are variable. And so doing the same thing every day is not great. And so fat first, okay? If even adding protein can actually help suppress the appetite a bit. So if you're going from eating, bagels, cereal, whatever, and then you want to do something like this, your body's gonna be hungry in the morning because that's what it's used to doing. And so add a little bit more protein, do some collagen, do some bone broth, add that at the end, pulse it through, and then you have basically like a Superfat Elixir protein shake. And that's a really good way as like phase one, if the fat itself isn't kind of suppressing the appetite, right? And so everyone's different. You're gonna have a different progression. Some people can just straight up go without breakfast because they don't eat that much as it is, or maybe they feel bad that they don't eat breakfast. I'm saying get over that, guys, because you should always be fasting. Never feel guilty about not eating a meal. That's complete and utter hogwash that's been pounded into your brain from the food industry and the nutrition industry and the supplement industry. It's BS, okay? Anytime you can skip eating food, do that, all right? Now, I take this, I do my morning routine, I go work, usually I leave, I co-work somewhere close, and depending on the day and how I'm feeling, I might have like an early lunchtime, like 4 or 5 o'clock, I might eat something, or I'll wait till I get back home at 6 or 7, and then that will be my first meal. And in fact, I came home today and I'm not hungry at all, so I probably won't eat for another couple hours, okay? And that's the power of the Drink Your Fat system. So let's recap, okay? So you have your morning Superfat Elixir. You got your clean fats, okay? You can have some super powders like some mushrooms, cocoa, some natural sweeteners if that's what you want to do. You can do some protein, some bone broth, etc. And then you make something like this, all right? You skip eating any whole food. You're not stacking on anything. You're not eating bagels or cereals or any of that crap, all right? And then you go about your day and you get to work and you crush it, okay? And you're getting a fast in there, even though you're consuming calories, right? They've shown that when you consume fat primarily, and protein to a lesser extent, but you primarily get rid of the carbs and the sugar, you're going to mimic a lot of the benefits of fasting, of intermittent fasting, so that you still get a lot of the health benefit even though you are ingesting calories. And so that's kind of what this is. This is like a fat fasted strategy, all right? Because you're still ingesting fat and some other ingredients, so you're still getting benefits of fasting, but you're still getting some fuel, all right? And then, like I said, certain days you can go and you should try to completely not have anything, maybe just do black coffee, mix it up, etc. And so I take this, I get to work, go about my day, I'm not thinking about food, I'm not worrying about it, I'm not hungry, whatever, and then bam, like come breakfast time at 6 or 7 p.m., like it just makes your life so much simpler, and you get all the benefits of fat burning. You can get calorie restriction if you're trying to lose weight. And again, for guys, if you're trying to gain weight though, like just add more fat, add more protein, right? And you can still have the same benefits. So this is infinitely versatile to what your goals are in your life. And the key that I'm trying to convey with Drink Your Fat, and that we try to do with Wild Foods every single day, is we're trying to get you to eat more real food from nature, okay? Because we believe real food is the path to health and longevity for the human being. And you can see in our industrialized food supply that we are failing right now. The mass of humans are failing in our new environment. Our new environment is processed food. It's everything's cheap, easy, on the go, right? We don't get outside enough. We're not social enough. We're behind screens all day long. We sit all day long. These are things that have created an environmental mismatch to our species. Eating premium fats, superfoods, and then skipping the processed refined crap, that is our way of getting back to nature as best as we can. And what will happen, guys, is you will get fit, lean, and you'll be machines. All right? So follow me on this journey. I'm on Instagram every day at Colin Stuckert. You can also follow Wild Foods at Wild Foods Co. If you need any of your superfood ingredients, go to wildfoods.co and use code WILDCEO for 10% off your entire order. It might actually be 12%. Okay. If you have any questions, shoot me an email, info@wildfoods.co. Comment below. Let me know what your favorite recipe is. Let me know if you have any experience with fasting, with fat fasting, with this kind of super fat strategy. And I'd love to hear it. You know, we're here to help you help yourself. And if we can help you do something like this while skipping breakfast, we're one step closer to realizing our mission. And so again, this is about more than drinking fat in the morning. This is about changing the way we eat, the way we interact with our environment, and about getting back to nature, okay? And the Superfat Elixir is the best way to do that. Thanks for watching.